Thanks, Chairman. I join you in commending Chairman Grassley's long support for whistleblowers and transparency. Ms. Rollinson, you are headed over to the IRS to be Chief Counsel if you are confirmed. You're not there now, as I understand it.
That is correct.
So this is just something for you to consider when you get over there, if you don't mind hearing me out here. The Supreme Court rendered a decision, at least a majority of it did, called Citizens United. I'm sure you're aware of that decision. Citizens United reflects the proposition that the Supreme Court 8-1 endorsed that spending anonymous money in politics is corrupting. So, pretty solid message. In fact, they said the only reason that we're letting unlimited money pour into politics is because it will be transparent. That's the guard against corruption. So the premise is anonymous money in politics, what we would call dark money, is corrupting, point one. Point two, we now have $2.6 billion in dark money spent in elections, and more to come. So $2.6 billion spent in, on its face, corrupting dark money. So that's kind of a problem for American democracy. The device for a lot of this dark money corrupting spending is 501c3 and 501c4 organizations and abuse of 501c3 and 501c4 organizations. And I'll flag some of the abuses for you. One is to take a 501c3 and a 501c4 organization that are basically twins. Same location, same board, same staff, a corporate veil between them that you could pierce with a banana. And with that, a 501c3 that's supposed to do no politics can get enmeshed with what a 501c4 is allowed to do in politics. Policing the boundary between the 501c3 and 501c4, zero effort that I've ever been able to see by the IRS. Literally zero effort to even ask or to look and say, what's up here? These two really don't look that different as organizations. How are you reflecting the legal difference between 501c3s and 501c4s? Here's another one. You set up a little flotilla of related 501c4s. So when the donor gives $1 million, the first 501c4 spends half of it on politics and sends the other half to the second related entity in the cycle, which spends $250,000 of the $500 on politics and sends the other $250 to the next one in the cycle, which spends $125 of the $250 on politics, and so forth. And so in a meeting room the size of that table, you could take a $1 million contribution and put 90% of it immediately into politics, particularly if it all ends up going to the same super PAC, for instance, and being reassembled on the other end of this sham operation. Zero inquiry into 501c4 cycling and the sham operation. And then finally, misreporting. The IRS receives reports from these organizations that say to the IRS under oath, we don't spend any money on politics. And over again, those same organizations have reported to the Federal Election Commission and other election commissions, oh, we spent $17 million on political ads. The discrepancy between those two sworn statements, never investigated. And I strongly suspect that the battering that the IRS has received by dark money funded front groups and dark money funded politicians, which included attempts to impeach an IRS commissioner, attempts to refer to DOJ, IRS staff, have cowed and intimidated the IRS so badly that it's not even trying to do its job. And by the way, no kudos to DOJ on this. DOJ still insists on an IRS referral, even if it's a simple false statements case, which is bread and butter DOJ work. So between the DOJ and the IRS, neither side is doing its job. And there is a waist-high pile of baseballs that have piled up between shortstop and second base of neither side doing its job to defend us from what is, by law, corrupting political spending. Please, I will follow up with you after your confirmation, but you can't just chicken out on doing the job, and I hope you'll bring a spirit of integrity there.